What's up, Nova Heads? It's Amber Nova.
This is Chris Lights Out Lytle.
Hi, this is Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Ice Boogie.
It's the real and raw August Art Swap.
This is Smiling Sam Alvey.
It's Archimedes.
I'm Jack Cartwheel, the real deal, the human highlight reel.
This is Steve Mowry.
I'm Victor Henry.
Boy, Bulletproof Troop.
Billy Clark.
It's ECW Original, The Enforcer, C.W. Anderson.
This is Honest John.
Hyper Street. Luis Moreno. And it's Mr. Classic.
I'm Jason Punet.
The young ghost.
It's old Hattie Price here.
When I say what's my name, Snipes.
Richie Slade.
My name is Gino Rivera, the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia.
The incredible one, Anthony Idol.
This is Ken Shamrock.
The Golden Boy, Jordan Clearwater.
Yo, watch and listen.
Championship online.
This is Alex Mars here. Hi, Richard Modest.
So, please listen to it, otherwise be cursed. Okay, see you later, love that dinners.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're now watching and listening to Championship on the Line podcast. I am joined as usual with my co-host Rich, and I'm Alex. And today we have a very, very special episode here today. We have a professional wrestler in the house, but most importantly, Rich and I have got to see this person wrestle, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And all the 3 times we've seen him wrestle, it's been very exciting, always entertaining as always. Ladies and gentlemen, you've probably seen him in everywhere. GCW LA Fights, Raise the Bar, West Coast Wrestling Company, almost every company you've seen him, and he's always bringing it. Very exciting. He is the Backwood Brawler, the Lucha Redneck, Hunter Freeman, ladies and gentlemen. He's in the house.
Good gosh, what an introduction, bro. Man.
I know, I'm bringing it, man.
Dude.
I'm excited.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me, both of you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, it's been a good last month. You know, the whole month of November was good, and you know, even beforehand. So we just see what all happens here in the future, man. It's been a lot of fun now that everything's starting to open back up. So thanks for having me on here, though.
Oh, of course, we really appreciate you taking the time, and we're very grateful to have you. And real quick, before we start the show, again, I wanted to, I know from before you were also in the United States Marine Corps. And again, from Rich and I, we wanted to say thank you so much for everything you've done for this country and everything you sacrificed and everything you've done. So for your service, we really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Man. Hey, no, thank you. Thank you for the support. No problem.
Oh,
no problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And before we start, we'd like to do a real quick segment where we ask 10 rapid questions, fun questions about yourself. Is that cool to do with you?
Yeah, I'm cool.
All right, awesome. Start, Rich.
We'll start right away. What is your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? Smokey and the Bandit.
That's awesome. Favorite TV show of all time?
Favorite TV show of all time? I've been on Family Guy kick here lately. I've just started watching it all over again. It's Family Guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character from that show?
Stewie.
Yeah.
Stewie. I call my kid Stewie sometimes just because he kind of acts like him a little bit. So I call him Little Mini Stewie.
Nice.
I think he's plotting against my wife.
Nice.
Awesome. Favorite video game of all time?
Favorite video game of all time? Of all time, man, I'm going to go old school, dude. Back in the Nintendo 64 days, I used to own WCW NWO Revenge. That used to be my favorite video game.
Mm-hmm.
Just play it nonstop. Yeah.
Going with the classics.
Yeah.
Who's your go-to character?
I tell you, man, I was a big I always like having Kevin Nash in that one. Kevin Nash was always pretty good in that one, just because I was a huge fan of the Power Bomb. So it was good. Kevin Nash, and then Sting was always one of my favorite ones to have too. Yeah.
Nice. Can't go wrong there. Favorite sports team of all time, or favorite sports team?
Georgia Bulldogs. football
Nice.
team, Georgia Bulldogs football team. I'm a diehard Georgia Bulldog fan. If you ask any of my friends, like I'm the worst on Saturdays, especially during football season, because I'm probably at a show, but I'm more than likely on like checking my phone, checking the score to the game. So
Yeah.
I'm a huge Georgia Bulldogs fan, man. Like die hard.
Nice.
Favorite meal?
I love a good steak. I'm a huge steak guy. But I will admit I'm married to a Latina and I love Mexican food. So pretty much anything Mexican, like I'll tear it up. I'll tear up some carne asada. I like the steak rancheros. Is that a thing? Yeah, I feel like that's the thing. I'm a huge fan of that. So I always like breakfast meals too. Breakfast is always a big thing. Me and my wife, we like to go to brunch and stuff like that. So, it's a lot of fun. So anything like that. But steak in general, I like steak. Steak's always a good one.
Nice.
Awesome.
Outside of wrestling, do you have a hobby you like to do?
No, I joined wrestling because I needed a hobby. That was one of the. We'll probably talk about that in a little bit. But man, hobby. I wrestle all the time. I try to wrestle as much as I can. I mean, if I had a hobby, man, I like spending time with my family. But that's not really too much a hobby, I guess you'd say I like to shoot guns. Like like if I ever get a day where I can go to a gun range or anything like that, I'll try to do that. Yeah, I like shooting guns and different things like that. So if I had to say a hobby, that's probably it. That's probably what I like to do. Yeah.
Awesome. What is your favorite music artist or band you like to listen to?
Oh man, you're coming to the hard ones, dude. So my favorite band is a band that is from back home. They're called the Allman Brothers. If you ever heard of them, but they're big Southern rock, blues, jazz, jam. A jam band like that. They have the song like Midnight Rider and Ramblin' Man and all songs like that. Being from the South, that's what I grew up on. So they're my favorite band. So I really enjoy. I've always enjoyed listening to them. But here recently, like what's been on my playlist is, I've been listening to a lot of like Metallica and, you can never go wrong with those metal bands like that. So I'm a huge metal guy too. So any Southern rock metal band, like that's pretty much, you pretty much got me right there. So.
Nice. Do you have a ritual you like to do before you enter the ring?
Do I what?
Do you have like a ritual you like to do before you enter the ring? Like anything like you prep? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm kind of superstitious when it comes to it. But when I'm getting ready, this is probably a bad habit. And I don't condone this to anybody who listens to this podcast, but I will, being, from the South, I'm one where I will, I put the tobacco, right? The smokeless tobacco. It's a habit. I need to quit it. I don't wish anybody to do it. It causes cancer. Okay. But, it just kind of calms my nerves a little bit, and I have a habit of when I lace up my boots, I'll always put a dip in because it just kind of calms me down. It's the last little thing I'm doing before I get ready to go out to the ring. So that's probably the biggest thing that I do. Is I'll put that in and I'll just chill, relax, and I'll probably put some music on, listen to some music before I go out there, kind of get me in the zone. Because when I go out there, man, like you guys know, man, I'm going out there, I'm going to beat everybody's ass. Whoever I'm in the ring with, like I'm going to beat your ass, plain and simple. So just kind of get myself in that mindset. I'll go ahead and tell you, man, I try to be friends with everybody. Like I'll be your friend, but it's a different story. Like once we get to the ring, like and that bell rings, like it's like we're officially like my goal is to beat your ass, plain and simple. So that's usually my go-to with it though, is try to do something like that.
Nice. I think even Alex could agree. That's like the first for us. Because we heard people like listen to music or they want to be alone, but like dip and just lacing up your boots and getting ready to kick ass is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like, I'll probably have one of these with me too. You know, I'm just going in that mindset. You know, like I'm finna go to this ring. Because like, not only can I go out and I can have a good like regular wrestling match, but like here the past year I've been doing a lot of death matches here lately, and I really have to like get my head in the game. I know I'm getting ready to go out and put myself through a lot of pain, and I'm fitting to give a lot of pain. You know what I mean? And it just kind of calms me down and get me in that, get my headspace right. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing. You got to go out and you got to have a good headspace when you go out there. Like you can't be scared of anything. And when I go out there, when I hit that curtain, I ain't scared of shit. I'm not scared of nobody. It don't matter who it is. You could be the biggest person. You could be the smallest person, whoever. Like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to beat your ass, plain and simple, So, yeah, that's pretty much it with me, man.
Awesome. I love it. Last one. If you can have a match with someone who isn't a wrestler, it could be a celebrity, an athlete, a fictional character from a TV show, who would it be with?
Oh, shit. Let's see, who do I not like? That way I could beat the hell out of them. Damn. Hold on, I got somebody. I'll think. I see. Man, I like everybody though, man. Like that's the thing. Like I'm your friend. I'll always be your friend, But man, who is like really irking me here lately? I don't know. That'd probably be a question you could ask my wife, because she's probably heard me like say like I really can't stand this person.
Yeah,
and she would take account of it. But man,
give me anybody. Yeah,
anybody, man.
Yeah,
Nick Saban. There you go, the head coach.
Okay,
nice.
I'm putting his ass in the middle of that ring. I'm gonna beat his ass straight up. Hell with him. I'm gonna whoop his ass.
How would you see that match going?
Huh?
How would you see that match going?
The fuck death match, dude. I'm hitting him with light
Yeah.
tubes, bro. Straight up. I'm gonna carve him up. Straight up. I'm gonna carve him up. Yeah.
When you said that, I literally like pictured you like power bombing him through like a table. I'm like,
dude, nah, the table with light tubes, bro. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's cool though, man. He's a good coach. I can't say he's not. He's a great coach, man. But damn him. No, I'm just kidding. Nick Saban, if you're ever listening to this, I didn't mean that. Okay.
People are gonna watch this and listen to it. And they're gonna put it on Twitter now. They're gonna put it every social media. Hunter Freeman.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know what? Hey, Nick Saban, go Dogs, bro.
Awesome. Well, again, Hunter, we really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. Again, we saw you wrestle. Like I said, we saw you wrestle 3 times, but the first time we saw you wrestle was at the West Coast Wrestling Company event, and it was a fatal 4-way, I believe. It was between you, Romeo Cruz, Manny Mars, and Vito Fratelli, which was an awesome match. It was actually the first time ever watching you. What were your thoughts going into that match?
This is my first time wrestling the 3 of them. I'd never been in the ring with any of those guys before. It was my first time at West Coast. Fatal 4-way, and all I was told was it's for a belt. And I was just like, bet I'm gonna go whip their ass. I don't know. The outcome of that match, man. I think that little prick Manny ended up doing something pretty funny. But whenever West Coast decides wants to run back and Adam wants me to beat the hell out of Manny, and it could be 1-on-1, I'm pretty sure I'll get that belt. But it was fun, man. My biggest thing, man, when I go to a show and I'm going to wrestle, man, is I remember who the hell I'm doing it for. Like you guys paying your hard-earned money. You know what I mean? Like if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So I try to go out every time that every show that I'm at, I'm giving you guys what you want. So I want to make sure you guys go away happy, because you guys don't want to go to a show and then be like, man, that can I cuss on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I don't want anybody going on, man, that fucking Hunter Freeman guy, he sucked, like, I would never pay my money to go watch him again. I want it to where, just like what happened with you guys, you saw me at West Coast, and then hopefully when you saw I was at Raise the Bar, you were like, yo, Hunter's going to be there. Yo, I want to go to this show and watch him, and kind of get that little following, and it all starts there. It doesn't matter if it's in front of a crowd of 10 people or if it's in front of a crowd of 1,000 people, or 2,000 or however many, like you go out there and you bust your ass. You know why? Because somebody's paying their hard-earned money to see you. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it with that, man. And I had fun, man. I went out there, I had a blast, dude. I tried to whip everybody's ass. And, I give it up to the three that were in there, man. Vito's a tough dude. Me and him, and I appreciate somebody that can hang and beat the hell out of me, and they can take it, that Romeo Cruz, man, he's athletic as hell, and he flying all over the place, and I mean, what do you expect, man? And then Manny, granted he is what he is, he's a little scumbag, but I gotta give him props, man, because he's athletic as hell too.
Yeah.
And I can't be mad. Somebody that takes an advantage and sees an opportunity and takes it, can't be mad at him. He did what he had to do, but it was a fun time. It was. I enjoyed it. And if West Coast runs again, I'd be happy to go back. I mean, so
absolutely. Yeah, because I remember you been saying, because we saw you at that event, and then we saw you again wrestle at Championships from Hollywood against Jordan Cruz. And I remember even seeing you guys go ahead. I even told Rich, I'm like, oh my God, this match is awesome thing. And it delivered, you and Jordan Cruz put on such a great match. And then watching you versus Ruby Reyes and Raise the Bar, which was, awesome. So every time we notice you in the car, I'm like, oh, that's going to steal the show, because every match you put on is such a great match.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Man, I give it props to, man, those two you just named too, man, Jordan Cruz and Ruby Reyes. I'm close with both of them. And I knew going in, I had no doubt that going in a match with them that we were gonna steal the show. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to. If anybody ever says that they're not trying to go out there and steal the show, they're wrong. Every time you go out there, you should go out and try to steal the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel comfortable when I'm out there with them too, and we deliver. And, it's that kind of thing where it's like, we know we're going to beat the hell out of one another, but at the end of the day, it's like, the bell rings. Hey, the best man, woman, whoever win, you know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, well, shit, man, best man won, let's drink a beer, have a good one. Proud of you. Let's go. You know what I mean? But there's two great people you just named right there, and I can't put them over hard enough. Jordan Cruz and Ruby Reyes deserve everything, and they working their butts off, man. Cruz, man, all over championship wrestling from Hollywood, prime time. Ruby Reyes doing the exact same thing, PCW. I'm just grateful to be able to have been in the ring with both of them. You know what I mean? So.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and then even recently, you were a part of the GCW LA Fights. You were part of that card. Well, how did that come about? You joining that event, and what was it like? Also, experience to be in the first ever LA Fights card.
Man, I tell you, man, I kind of found out about it maybe like a week before the show. Yeah, I originally think, I will say that probably the main reason that the injury bug got to some people. There was some guys that were supposed to be on that show that ended up getting injured, and I think that probably had a hand in why a couple of us were there. And I'll go say, Starboy Charlie being injured, Eli Everfly getting injured, and we want them both, man, both those guys to heal up and get back in, you know, when they do heal up, they're just going to come back and just kill it, you know, just like they always do, you know, and you know, opportunities arise out of that. And when you're given an opportunity, you go and you show out, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's what it was. And so when given that opportunity, that's what I planned on doing. I went and I showed out. The scramble that we had was a great match, dude. Like, we went out there and we showed out, you know what I mean? And working for the first LA Fights meant a lot to me, you know, because a huge goal of mine is, you know, is to work for GCW, you know what I mean? Work for Game Changer Wrestling, you know, and being a part of the first LA Fight show and showing out like that and putting in the work, you know, like that shows a lot. And it's a goal, you know what I mean? It's a goal to have in 2022, you know what I mean? And, you know, that's the way I looked at it, you know, like GCW is one of the top tier, you know, companies out there right now. And it's an indie promotion, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, it's a goal. So it's a goal, and it was an honor to be a part of LA Fights. And I hope in the future I'm a part of more, you know what I mean? Because I wanted to represent the West Coast, and I feel like everybody that was on that card that night showed out straight up.
Oh yeah. Because even like I remember watching it too, because I was watching the GCW on YouTube, and I remember watching your match. Even telling Rich, I'm like, oh my god, like he's going all out of this match. I know it was a 6-way, but man, it was awesome just watching you just do your thing, and it was really cool. Just a great match overall, you know, switching to 6-way too.
Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta think, and it wasn't it wasn't all me, man. Like, you gotta think who I was in that match too. You know, like, I was in there with some top talent, you know, I was in there with two very well-known vets, man. I can't say enough about Little Cholo and Ray Rosas, you know, two tremendous vets out here on the West Coast. Absolutely. And then the upstart Jay Vidal, you know, from Vegas, just athletic, crazy charisma, you know, like Jay's awesome. Jay ended up winning, super proud of him on that, you know, and then you know, Judiz and D-Rogue, man. I've been in the ring with Judiz before, man. I know how good he is, and he's just it's a matter of time before, you know, a rocket gets strapped to him and he's off to the moon, you know. And D-Rogue, man, D-Rogue's on another level as well, man. Like, you know, he's out there doing his thing out here on the West Coast, and he's another one, man. Just, I feel like, you know, all of us that were in there, all 6 of us that were in there, man, we all showed out, and it just showed, like, you know, the vets can still go, the upstarts can still go, the hard hitters, you know, like myself, Julius, and all of us, like, we can all go. We showed out, and it was a good plethora of what the West Coast had to offer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And then, you know, I want to go a little bit backwards real quick, but, you know, first tell us, like, you know, how did your journey to become a professional wrestler, how did all that start, like, for you? Like, first, like, how did you even get introduced to wrestling? Like, how did all that start for you?
Well, how I got introduced to it, my family, for one. Yeah. So my mom, she worked as an ER nurse, right? And then my dad, he worked throughout the day, you know, all day long, you know. And so I ended up having to stay with my grandparents, you know, and you know, growing up as a kid, and my grandpa was he was struck by a drunk driver, and he was paralyzed from the neck down. And so being I stayed with my grandparents, you know, my grandpa, he couldn't really do, you know, play a lot with me or anything like that. You couldn't really go out and play catch or anything like that. So growing up at a very young age, we had one thing that we would watch, and we would watch wrestling on the VHS tapes, you know, the old Coliseum video, and, you know, all that stuff. And you know, my grandpa was even to the point, man, he would bootleg those things, man. He would do the video recorder, probably not the best thing to say right now, but he would like video record all of the tapes and put them on VHS, and that's what we had to watch. And so that's what we had. And just growing up, like that's what I watched, and that's what me and I'm the youngest of three brothers, and that's what me and my older brothers, we would watch, and we would, me and my brothers, we'd fight, just beat the hell out of one another. We gave my mom all the gray hair she has right now. We always thought we were wrestlers and things like that. So I've always been a fan. I've been a fan and every wrestler is a fan. You know what I mean? I don't care what anybody says. Every wrestler is a fan. If you're in this, you were a fan at some point. You know what I mean? And if you're still a fan, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I might catch backlash for that, but I don't really care. I'm a fan to this day. I don't care what anybody says. So when I always grew up, always remember watching it. And so I joined the Marine Corps. And when I joined the Marine Corps, I came back from my first deployment. Came back from that, my doctor said, man, you need to find a hobby. Like mentally, my head wasn't in the game. I was thinking some pretty bad things, you know what I mean? And my doctor was like, hey man, you need to find a hobby, find something to, get your mind off things, different things like that. And so I was in Japan at the time. When I was over in Japan, I was walking down the streets of Japan and I saw a flyer for a Japanese wrestling show. And I saw it and I was like, I want to go to this. I'm like, well, I might as well, So I went to it, and it was from a school it was called Ryukyu Dragon Pro Wrestling. The guy who ran it, he was trained by Takamichi Noku. And on this show, it had Jun Kasai on it. You guys know who Jun Kasai is? Yeah. So Jun Kasai was on the show, and me and a couple of my buddies, we went to it. And of course, us being in the military, we went and we decided to, do a little bit of this and watch the show and everything like that. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this, and I just remember like Jun Kasai coming up and like he like grabbed. I always wear hats, and he came up and he grabbed my hat and he put my hat on and put it on backwards. I just saw like how much fun they were having. And I was just sitting there and I was just like, I'm athletic enough. I'm in good shape. I love this is so much fun, and I continue to still watch it, and I'm like, this is something I can do. I can do this right here. And after the show was done and over with, someone that I had with me spoke fluent Japanese, and we went up to him and I told the guy, I said, tell him I want to train. I want to do this. Uh-huh. And so he talked, blah, blah, blah. And the guy told him back, he said, tell him to be here. And the guy kind of looked at me and he said, tell him to be here Wednesday night at 7:00. I was like, okay. So that following Wednesday, 7:00, I showed up in like gym shorts and shoes. And, even in Japan, it doesn't matter who it is. It could be New Japan, Noah, All Japan, any company over there. It doesn't matter. The way they train over in Japan is the same. And so I proceeded to get my ass kicked training in Japan for the next solid 1.5 to 2 years. Yeah, I did so many squats, so many. I got the hell beat out of me, dude. And so, and I was doing all the young boy things, as like cooking, washing the mat, washing gear, washing pads, doing everything, I was having to go to shows, set up rings, and still fulfilling my duties as a Marine. So I'll put you through a day, right? So normal day with the Marine Corps with me, I'd wake up at like 5:00, 5:30. Wake up, I'd go to PT around like 6:00. We would PT workout, as our unit. We'd work out from 6 to 7. Go back, shower, get ready. 8:00, you carried out, you went and did work, right? You worked, did your thing in the Marine Corps, right? There's no telling what we did that day. Work, got off work around like 5, 6 o'clock, depended. Okay. Got off at 6, had to rush to grab my stuff and be at the dojo at 7 o'clock. If I was late, I got in trouble. I had to be at the dojo at 7. I would work out and train with these guys from 7 o'clock until midnight every night. Get home about 12:30, finally shower, go to bed 1 o'clock, get back up around 5:30 the next day. And I did this for a solid year and a half. And and this whole working out time, I'm telling you, I'm getting my ass beat. You know what I mean? So taught me a lot, man. I learned a lot over there, you know, and I'm grateful for the opportunities I had over there. They finally, before I left, I had 2 matches over there until I got stationed over here in San Diego. And then when I got stationed over here in San Diego, that's when I started training over here. So.
Wow, that's crazy. Usually, like every typical, like a lot of the stories are, I joined, a local gym or I wrestle school here, but you started over there when you were in Japan, which is crazy. Yeah. And while you're also in the Marines, so also doing school at the same time, it's crazy. But what was like a typical day, like going to wrestling school in Japan? Like, what was like the workouts? What do they do? All that, and then also who trained you while you were there?
So the main trainer that was there was a guy by the name of Garukin Mask, and he was trained by Taka Michinoku, and also Taka Michinoku came in and trained us. And then we also had a couple of training days with Liger, Jushin Thunder Liger. Oh. Yeah, so he would come in, he would train with us a couple of times, and then there's a guy who wrestles for DDT Pro named Shota Suzuki. He's an upstart there with them. He's at DDT right now, and he's in a tag team, but he's a good dude. So he trained me as well. So normally the first starting out is you're working out. Okay. That's it. You're out, you're doing squats, you're doing push-ups, dive bomber push-ups. You're going, you're working out, you're going, like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to make sure that you can physically handle what I'm going to be dealing with, what you're going to be dealing with. Then from there, when you start like learning your basic roles and different things like that, that's when you start rolling, they have you roll on a hardwood floor. So you don't go out and you don't start rolling on a mat. You roll on a hardwood floor first. And kind of, you have to like start toughening. Yeah, you have to start toughening your body up. You know what I mean? And then from there, when they see that you got the rolls down, then they finally will let you in the ring. Okay? But before you even step foot in the ring, you'll work out. And then even when you get in the ring, you still work out as well. And then I remember days, man, where we would work out, and before we even got started wrestling or anything like that, there would be like pools of sweat in the center of the ring just from us working out in there. Yeah, that's and then like I said, we would do that from 7 o'clock until midnight every night.
Crazy. Wow. Just listening to that together. Wow, that's crazy. And also, like, you said earlier too, like you had a couple matches there. What was it like also wrestling in Japan and also with the crowd and everything? Like, how much was a big difference from wrestling in Japan to the States?
Well, I've been to a couple shows. Every time they had a show there, I was there. I had to set up the ring, on the weekend. So I was kind of already used to like how the crowds were kind of going to be very, very quiet, very quiet. Then they get the reaction, you know what I mean? So I was kind of like, it was new to me at first because all I'd ever seen was American, big, like, constant reaction, And so when I see something like this, I was kind of like, when I got ready to have my first couple matches there, like I was kind of used to it. But the cool thing is, like, they get there and they see, Americans wrestle, that's pretty cool to them. They don't see when they see, we're kind of like attractions over there. You know what I mean? So, especially like on the indies like that, when they see like the attractions like that, they make a little bit of a, reaction from us and make some noise, but it was definitely something I had to get used to. You know what I mean? So.
then going to San Diego, what school did you train over there in San Diego?
So when I got to San Diego, I started out at SoCal Pro.
Okay.
Yeah, training at SoCal Pro. That was all the way up in Escondido. Got to train with SoCal Crazy, Tommy Wilson, Ricky Mandel, myself, Mike Camden. We started out kind of like right at the same time. Judiz started out right at the same time right there. So that was pretty much the whole class right there. Anthony Idol, he was there training. Dirty Doug. Those are my guys right there. Was able to train with Ryan Kidd. He's a good dude. So that's where I started out right there, was a SoCal Pro. And then from there, I found out that B-Boy opened up his school a couple years later. And then just because I live in the heart of San Diego, driving 45 minutes to an hour, it was taking a toll on me, and then B-Boy school opened up literally 10 minutes from my house. And then you have the opportunity to train under B-Boy, like that's something you definitely jump on, you know what I mean? So I've been training under B-Boy for the past 4 years. I've been training under B-Boy. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I like to say I've gotten a lot of my aggression from him. 100%.
And even like during like your training, especially like with SoCal Pro and also training with B-Boy and also in Japan, what was like the best advice that you were given about the business from them?
I would say one thing that I learned from SoCal Pro, one thing from Japan that I really learned is you got to put in the work. Put in hard work, work hard. It's not given. The shit's not given to you. They're not just going to give it to you. Again, I trained over there for a good solid year and a half before they let me have a match over there, and that was still like, I really only think the guy only gave me a match just because I was getting ready to leave. And I think he kind of felt bad. But he saw like how much I'd been working. And so he thought I deserved it, but that over in Japan definitely taught me, put in the work, it's not given to you. SoCal Pro, I learned a lot about, getting my, working on a character, building yourself up, learning the indie scene, and then probably would level up. Level up is kind of like in the latter years. I've learned a lot from B-Boy, man. Learned a lot. And I think, one of the biggest things that I've learned is, being humble, knowing that, wrestling doesn't owe me anything, make myself marketable. And another thing, man, and B-Boy's also taught me, man, you just got to get tough. You got to be tough and you got to be mean. And I feel like that's what I am, now.
Yeah, that was just here. Yeah.
I feel like when I first started, I was very like timid, you know what I mean? And now, like, being under B-Boy's tutelage, and being under his wing, like, I've learned, like, like, don't be afraid to go out there and show out, and stuff like that. Like, I don't really like hyping myself up, but I'm also one where, like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna beat ass, you know what I mean? Like, I am. So learn a lot, though. Definitely being humble is a big one, and I try to continue to be humble all throughout, man. Like, because again, if it wasn't for people in this business, I wouldn't be where I am. If it wasn't for the fans, I wouldn't be where I am. So that's the biggest thing with me.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, like, even like Rich and I, even watching you wrestle live, it's like, you really are a brawler. Like, you really do go in there and you make it into a real, like, make it a fight, and that's what makes it so exciting too. Because, like, you see a lot of different styles, and especially now you're seeing day and age, you're seeing guys are now more doing high flying, but you're not really seeing really just goes in there and gives it a fight, and that's what your style. And that's what like Rich and I we love that style. And you
I
bring it
can't
into
do all
the
that
match.
flipping shit, man. I try to do a flip and I always land on my damn face. So that's, you know what I mean? I damn this. I'm gonna quit doing that. I always try to give everybody what they want and do a moonsault, and what ends up happening, I always land on my face. I can't do that shit. I'm better off just punching you in the face or kicking or booting you in the face. I put my size 14 in your face. That's pretty much it.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty much all I got going for me.
But it's exciting, man. Like I said, every match we've seen you has always been very, very exciting. And even when we look at future cards, I'm like, oh, he's in it, like it's gonna be exciting,
Yeah.
And when you look back so far in your career, what's been like your favorite moment or your favorite match so far?
Favorite match. I have a couple of like favorite matches, you know what I mean? One of my favorite matches, I ended up I didn't win it, but this was definitely my match where it's like everybody saw like, okay, this dude can go, you know what I mean? This dude can go. It was a match I had with Andy Brown at Ground Zero. This was the first time me and him touched. This was the first time we touched, but this is the first time where it was like I was kind of creating this character that I am now, and people were starting to see that, and that's what I was becoming, and so that's a match that definitely stands out to me. It was one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites was when I wrestled B-Boy. Just the amount of learning that occurred during that match, and just proving myself. He jokes with me, but and I always tell him, he's like, oh, we just went on there and we just had fun. And to this day I tell him like, no, that was my proving ground match. Like,
yeah,
that was the match where I was like, if I can hang with him, and impress him, then I'm okay. I can continue doing this, and so there's that one. And then I've been having like really fun matches here lately. I can't really narrow down the recent ones, because they all been so much fun, just been hyped for them and different things like that. I've enjoyed the regular matches that I've been in. I've enjoyed the death matches that I've been in. There's a different like level of like hype I get when I have a death match, and I would say like here recently, man, the past year and a half of matches have just been like a lot of fun for me. They have, and I can't narrow down like what's been great this year, because I feel like they've all been great, and even this past weekend at LA Fights, just it was another good one, you know what I mean? Like, we went out there and we killed it,
And then as of now too, like what are your goals as of now? Like, is there a certain promotion that you like to sign with, and also which wrestlers in the future you like to work with?
Man, when it comes to like getting signed, right, like I'm one of those, man, is like whoever will take, The goal is to always work for the bigger ones. And if it happens, man, cool, it happens. And if I get signed, whoever it is, I'm gonna bust my ass for them. I'm gonna do whatever they tell me to do. Because they're the ones that sign their name on the dotted line. You know what I'm saying? They sign the paychecks. Because I'm gonna go out there and I want to give the fans what they want. So I there are companies I like to work for. Yeah, like I said earlier, man, Game Changer Wrestling, that's a goal, work for them. I want to succeed on the indies, like there's a lot of companies out on the indies. I want to start, trying to travel a lot more and going like to the Northeast and to the East Coast and the Midwest and, Texas. And I've really only been like on the West Coast, like the farthest I've been is like Arizona and Las Vegas, you know, and I want to branch out. I want to branch out further than that, you know. I feel like given the opportunity to go out there to wrestle new people, you know, it will show out for the West Coast, and it'll show out, you know, I would give everything I have for those guys, you know why? Because hey, you paid money to have me out here, so I'm gonna give you everything I got, you know. You know, no matter what it is. So that's the way I look at it. You know, you can say like MLW, you can say, you know, AEW, you know, whoever, you know, just whoever's, if the opportunity arises and they give me a shot, I'm gonna do everything I got. I'm gonna give them everything I got. You know what I mean? As far as opponents, man, I tell you, I get to wrestle an opponent I've been wanting to wrestle for 5 years now, close 4 to 5 years now. I'm wrestling Tyler Bateman this weekend. Yeah, it's gonna be in La Mesa here in San Diego at Level Up. It's the big Level Up show. It's the last one of the year. I will go ahead and tell you, man, if you guys haven't made plans Saturday, I would come down to La Mesa. Not only for the rest of the card that it is, but I'm so ready for this match. I've been ready for this match for the past 4 years. So this is something that I've wanted, and I plan on giving the people what they want. And I will admit, man, Tyler Bateman has wrestled the biggest names out there. He's, you know, he is what he says he is. He is the goddamn man. And you know, and I know he's wrestled all these people. He's wrestled Thatcher. He's wrestled, you know, Tanahashi. He's wrestled Walter. I'm not Walter. I'm not Tanahashi. I'm not Thatcher. I'm Hunter Freeman. You know, I know he's gonna hit hard. I'm gonna hit just as hard. You know what I mean? And you know, there's a lot right here going into Saturday that I'm gonna let out. And this is gonna be a big match Saturday. It's gonna be a big one. Let me just put it like that, you know. And it's gonna be big for the fans. It's gonna be big for the people who are able to watch it, you know, on the streaming sites. But it'd be good to watch it live. You know what I mean? We're going to beat the hell out of one another. You know what I mean? We are.
Oh, absolutely. You just, when you said that name, I was like, oh my God, just thinking about that, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fight.
So yeah, you know, Bateman, he's one, man. You know, more I could think of, man, like one guy I'd like to wrestle, man, would be Matt Justice. You know, I feel like me and him would go out and just beat the hell out of one another. He's injured right now, but this dude's gonna be back on the up and up, you know, for too long, man. Mance Warner, he's a guy I'd like to throw down with. You know, and then of course everybody always talk to, especially when they watch my death matches, everybody always says, you need to wrestle this guy, and I would do it. I would low-key do it, but and if it happens, it happens. But if the king, if Nick Gage wanted to go, hey, let's go, Nick. You know, Nick. Hey, I've been, you know, it's been good that the past couple of GCW shows that I've been to, Nick has been able to put me under his wing a little bit and kind of talk to me and give me advice and things like that. And so it would definitely be one of those where, like, if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? We would go out and we do it, you know. But I'd know going in there, I'm going in there with the king, with the god, you know. So I know it's probably not gonna look good, you know. I'm probably gonna get my ass beat, but I don't plan on fucking backing down, you know what I mean? So but you know, like shit like that. Be cool.
No, I think it would be amazing, especially Lauderdale. If you're listening, please book this match. Please.
Oh shit, man. Yeah. Yeah, it would, it would be, it's one of those things, man, when you look up to your idols like that, like my match with B-Boy, man, like it was B-Boy was somebody, he still is. He's somebody I look up to this day, and when I was able to get in the ring with him, it was like, I learned so much, and it was an honor to be in the ring with him. He's dude. I tell you, man, B-Boy's a tough motherfucker. He's a tough motherfucker, and you get in the ring, you just put up or shut up. You know what I mean? So, that's pretty much, things with that. I'm happy.
Oh, yeah.
I hope it happens one day. I think eventually, yeah, maybe it will. So who knows?
Again, people, promoters watching, listening, please book these matches, please. Again, also please book Hunter Freeman, because obviously you're gonna get a great match out of him. And again, thank you so much, Hunter, for being on the podcast. We're really glad that we've had, so happy to have you on. So again, thank you so much.
Yeah, dude, man, no problem, man. Let's do this again sometime. Let's do this again when we got a little bit more time. We can talk a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, of course.
I'm down, bro.
And, before we wrap it up, is there anything you want to plug in? Social medias, bookings?
Yeah. My social medias, I'm on Facebook, Hunter Freeman. I'm on Twitter. Just type in my name or type in Backwoods Brawler. At Backwoods, that's like BCKS Woods Brawler, something like that. I don't really know, but you type in my name there. And then Twitter, same thing, at Backwoods Brawler. Upcoming shows, man, like the most recent one is, this Saturday at Level Up, man, me and Bateman. But not even that, there's even a lot more, great talent, on that show. You got J2 Mattioli versus Terex. You got Judiz versus CJ Tino. You got a bat on a pole match versus Sexy Fab versus Leo Canetto. I'm excited about that because these guys got a bat on a pole. You know what I mean? So they're telling how they're gonna use it. All these guys, man, like these guys at Level Up, man, have been, represent, these guys there, these students there that are coming up, man, they're busting their butts, man. So they I'm super proud of all of them. They're entertaining, and it's just a matter of time before these guys go out and get noticed, and they're already getting noticed. So yeah, man, that's the show this Saturday. Down here, I think that's the last one I'm on for the year until next year. So who knows? Hey, after this, man, 2022, book Hunter Freeman. Whoever wants me, I'm down. Let's do it.
And there you go, absolutely. And again, we'll put everything in social media in the description down below. And again, thank you so much, Hunter, and such an awesome time. And again, we will do this again. And also, thank you everyone that's watching and listening. And that's going to do it for us here at Championship Online Podcast. We'll see you guys next time.